One thing is certain, the North is the enemy of Southern unity. Bashir Ahmed, this guy came out and said that anybody that supports the release of Nnamdi Kanu should be classified as an enemy of state. This is a man who has never come out to issue a word against the bandit. This is a man who has never come out to say that Boko Haram's, Iswas, Lakurawas that are killing his brothers and sisters back there in the north, in Katsina, in Daura, in Kanu State, Zafara, that they are enemy of the state. You see, the Fulani'S are land grabbers. The Fulani'S are known for conquest. But you see, they failed. Their time has come to an end. And it is simple because a man in MNK, a man who is so enlightened, a man with a mind of consciousness, light, a man who has come to beam the light on the darkness, the siege placed on Nigerian progress by the Fulani'S oligarchs. This is a man who is the man of truth, and we know that the truth will always pierce falsehood. This is why they are so scared. As you can see, these guys are very afraid. They do not want any person that will come out and break away that shackle. They do not want a man who will decolonize, who will Fulani'S the Nigerian people. You know, their own intention is they want to be seen as a superior ethnic tribe. Oh yes, they've always wanted to be seen as the superior human race in Nigeria that controls the politics. The politics, not the technology, not the education, but the politics. Because they know that it is the man that controls the politics, that controls the mind, the life of the economy of the people of the country. But their end is now here. Because we the Southerners are now fully in support of our Southeastern, people. Or should I say, I am in support of the emancipation of the Nnamdi Kanu. Because I know if they are set free, of course, this will spread down to the southwest, down to the southeast, by extension, the middle belt will also break away. Likewise, the same thing. If the southwest gain their emancipation first, this is just, automatic to extend to the southeast. So therefore, these guys are intentional. These guys operated with high level of impunity. Even when the Nigerian Court of Jurisdiction, the appeal court, has set Nnamdi Kanu free, they did everything using the executive powers, showing all manners of illegality to hold Nnamdi Kanu down. Even when the United Nations, the International Criminal Court of Justice, even when the African Union waded in, and even when so many international advocates have discussed on this issue, allow this man to go, they said no. One thing is clear, it is not the outside that is holding this man down. It has always been the Janjaweeds. It has always been the Fulani'S. It has always been those usurpers that have invaded the Middle Belt. These are the elements that have invaded some forests in Oyo State. These are the people that came like helpers and stole the Ilorin from the Yoruba. Today we can see them encroaching into the northern part of Ebonyi and Enugu State, wherein they are now attacking so many villages, sacking them from their own ancestral land. This is how they operate. This is what their godfather or their grandfather was known for, with Madam Fodo, whose agenda, his sole agenda, was to conquer the whole Nigeria down to the south and what? Put his sword into the ocean. That was his plan. And we must educate our fellow Southerners. The Nnamdi Kanu is a prophet. It might not be from my own part of the country, but yes, indeed, this is a man who understands what is currently being played out by the Fulani'S. He is a man who was ahead of his time, and I think that was a major issue Nnamdi Kanu had. Nnamdi Kanu was a man who was ahead of his time. I think if today Nnamdi Kanu started preaching his gospel, if it was in this 2025 that Nnamdi Kanu started preaching his gospel, and now that we have Donald Trump on the seat of power as president of the most powerful nation in the world, I think Nnamdi Kanu would have been able to achieve his goals and objectives without any form of hurdles. You know, I do not think a person like Tinubu would have been going after him or to arrest him. The Fulani'S now, above all, they would rather want Tinubu to starve them, deny them of every form of social safety nets, social amenities, over him releasing Nnamdi Kanu. You see those northern leaders, they will be ready to sacrifice their federal allocation. They will tell Tinubu, take this one, they go. Don't give us. It's better our people starve than you release Nnamdi Kanu. Because they know that when that man comes out, there's only one thing. The Southerners, whether you are Yoruba, whether you are South, whether you are Igbo, that unity will be further strengthened. They know that the Southerners will begin to speak in one voice. Because if you look at the history, go back into the history, when Nnamdi Kanu was aggressively evangelizing against these Janjaweeds, when he was calling them out, that how come the Fulani'S will be the one that owns the majority oil wells in the south? And meanwhile, the Southerners do not have access to the gold in Zamfara. That this is sheer inequality. This is injustice, social injustice. This cannot work. If you take out the Fulani'S away from Nigeria, the Hausas, in their large numbers, are still full-headed. They are still people who are contented. They are not the greedy types. They are easily, ready to work with people. But you see those elements, those dangers, their own intention has always been come into your homeland, pretend as if they don't know anything, watch you till you are asleep, and then they strike in the middle of the night, rape your women, take your land, and then steal your resources. Now we've known that this is their own inherent character. They don't change. Otherwise, why will Ahmed Bashir, the former spokesperson? I don't think that this is Ahmed Bashir speaking. This is former president speaking. Yes, because as far as we are concerned, he was the spokesman of Buhari on social media, new media, in the last 8 years of the past president. Ahmed Bashir spoke the mind of Buhari. So today, if this is what he has to say about the release of Nnamdi Kanu, who has been unjustly, extrajudiciously kidnapped and still being held for what no reason, they don't have any good tangible cause to either jailing or let justice be served. You guys come out and say that this man committed treason. Okay, what is your offense for treason? Issue it out with him, sentence him to jail term, or you give him a fine so that he can pay. But you guys are illegally holding him down for going to 4 to 5 years now since 2019, 2020. Who does that? In which same country does that happen? So, Ahmed Bashir is speaking the mind of the former. He is speaking the mind of the Attorney General of the Federation. But one thing is this: This current president, Tinubu, understands that this is the weak link he will use against the North. And this is a man who is desperate to become a president for another 4 years. And he understands this is why he has been threatening the Fulani'S in the recent time with all manner of policies like tax reform bill, like splitting the middle belt. These are his policies, and we can see that the Fulani'S have been rejecting, they have been so scared, afraid, issuing out all manner of threats. The last straw, the most potent one he has to deal with them, to bust their head and their mouth, is of course, the day he comes out and says that Nnamdi Kanu is free, you will see they will begin to cry in the North. They will begin to weep tears, because this is a man they are all afraid and scared of. This is a man that gives all of them in the North, people and this nightmare, terrible nightmares. I've never seen where people are so scared of truth. I've never seen where people do not want their own fellow human beings to be set free. It is disgusting to see a fellow spokesperson of Buhari come out openly. This is an hate speech. It is an hate speech. I repeat, I hope it is Donald Trump emerges as the current president who just got inaugurated just some hours ago. He would look into this matter and probably write a mail or seek the audience of the president of Nigeria. Because what this man has done, what this Nnamdi Kanu has done, is not as terrible as what those northern politicians do, whereby they steal billions of naira, they deny millions of northern children basic education. Instead of them to use the resources of those children to send them to school, train them, give them good life, give them water, give them good roads, they will tell them go to Fulani'S school, wherein the governors, the politicians are looking. Most of the politicians in the North, they are all 90% Fulani'S. You will see in Kanu State, if you know a Kanu State man that is governing there, he's a Fulani man. You go to Kaduna State, instead of a Kaduna man to be in charge, it is a Fulani man that is in charge. If you go to, basically, all the 12, 13 northern states are being governed by Fulani, and these were all foreigners. These were people that came all the way from Sahel, Senegambia. These people were never inherently Nigerians. They migrated here, stole people's land, use religion, use deception, their common tactics. Cunningly, this is how they operate. Let me quickly read out some responses to this Bashir guy. A man who felt he could just come out and say nonsense against the Southerners. You will see the responses of the Southerners. The Yorubas were responding to him in the correct measures. You will see Igbos also giving him the right, just listen. This is, look at it. This guy said, bandits Boko Haram should be pardoned and integrity and what reintegrated into Nigeria army. This is from Mr. Arinze. You can see many people here lambasting him for his hypocrisy. Look at it. Someone called him Boko Haram, don't talk. Of course, what do you expect? A man who will always sympathize with Boko bandits. A man who has come out to say that they should pardon Bello Tinubu. This same Bashir Ahmed, he has come out to always seek pardon. He always seeking pardon plea for who? Bello Tinubu, the most notorious bandit in the world, Nigeria. This is Omaba Ayo. Omaba Ayo says that shame to any Southerner that who is aligned with this ignoramus Igbo hater and the enemy of Southerners saying here. That is an Omaba Ayo, a Yoruba man. Say that shame on any Southerner that supports any Northerner coming out to that Nnamdi Kanu is the enemy. Nnamdi Kanu has never been the enemy of the Yorubas. Nnamdi Kanu has never been the enemy of Yorubas. Show me when he has come out to call for the killings of the Yorubas. The only person he has always called out and who he has vehemently campaigned against is the president of Tinubu. Because of his phantom shop of so many allegations. How they said that Tinubu captured Lagos, using the resources that belong to all Lagosians for his own personal use. Shouldn't such person be called out? Have you seen why Nnamdi Kanu call out other people? You won't. He will call out those corrupt politicians, give them all manner of names that they deserve. You know? Now this is another one. This one says, but anyone who is proud to be an Islamic extremist is also a terrorist. And that is true. Bashir Ahmed one time came out and said that he is Muslim first. A man that through his career rose to become the special advisor of the president on social media came out openly and said that he is Muslim first. In fact, he came out to protest that Israel should free Palestine. Meanwhile, his own backyard is being terrorized by bandits. Meanwhile, his own backyard is being invaded by Islamic extremists. These are people who say that if you see the release of Nnamdi Kanu, they are terrorists. I don't know how these guys, how they reason. They are not meant to be together. And that was the reason why I said, enough prayer is for the South never to be united. And they understand that Nnamdi Kanu has the capacity to unify through his gospel, through his charismatic evangelism, that if this man is released, if this man eventually comes, the South, these Yoruba people, will once again recover their voice against the Fulani hegemonists, who today are the loudest. You can see that it is the Fulani that is the loudest in this Tinubu administration. They come out every day to cry, hey, people give us our own, they don't come and you see them every now and then. Just 3 days ago, we saw how the enemy of Sanusi, the Fulani man came out. The Fulani man was now the enemy of Kanu State. He came out, started saying Tinubu is doing terribly bad, that they will not help him. They are watching film, that in fact he will get popcorn, and he will be so delighted to see that Tinubu fails. His own agenda is simple. I do not support Tinubu in any way, shape or form, but the Fulani's agenda is this. They always want to demarket every southerner. When Jonathan was doing extremely well, this same Fulani deceived the South, military the Southwest. They deceived Tinubu, collected his money. They began to run campaign until elected the biggest mistake ever in the Nigerian history when they elected Buhari. A man that brought Nigeria back to the 1600s. That is what Buhari did. Buhari took Nigeria back decades. He took Nigeria decades back. Our innovation, our technology will progress. He started, silencing the voice of dissent. A man who became a tyrant because someone named his dog Buhari jailed him. The South must wake up because the Fulani's are never sleeping. Their agenda is to ensure that we remain divided in the South. And of course, if a person like Nnamdi Kanu doesn't come out, I don't see that unity happening anytime soon. I support him. I support his release. And I know the Fulani's right now, their greatest fear is for this man to come out. And I know he will come out. Thank you. Bye for now.